स्टूडेंट, स्वागत है आपका आपके अपने YouTube चैनल SRGC HOD इलेक्ट्रिकल पर। मैं रोहिताज सिंह, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग, एक बार फिर से नए लेक्चर के साथ, दैट इज लेक्चर नंबर 7 इन पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, दैट इज PWM टेक्निक. Till the day we have covered in last 6 lectures, that is single phase inverter, and we have discussed the type of single phase inverter as voltage source inverter and current source inverter. Along with, we have discussed half bridge inverter with resistive load and inductive load, full bridge single phase inverter with resistive load and inductive load. In 3-phase inverter, we have covered 180-degree mode of operation of 3-phase inverter and 120-degree mode of operation of 3-phase inverter. Now, the next lecture that is very important, that is PWM technique. So, this lecture is important, in which we will discuss how to control the output voltage of a single phase inverter. So, here, for example, we have considered a full bridge inverter with resistive load, and this is the circuit diagram. You can see here the 6 switches are connected across a DC voltage Vs, and the output voltage waveform is given by a rectangular wave having Vs voltage from 0 to pi and minus Vs voltage from pi to 2 pi. So the RMS value of output voltage, RMS value of output voltage we have derived, that is V naught R is equal to Vs, and to find the fundamental voltage and fundamental current we have derived the Fourier series expression. So Fourier series expression for output voltage as a function of omega t is equal to, that is 4 Vs upon n pi and sine n omega naught t. This is Fourier series expression. So in that case we have that the output voltage have amplitude, this is called as amplitude, and this is called as fundamental frequency. This is fundamental frequency. So actually we have to control this output voltage. So the output voltage can be controlled in two manners. Either we can control the amplitude or we can control the fundamental frequency. So in most of the cases we have required the variable amplitude, because if we have to control the speed of an AC motor, then the amplitude of the voltage should be vary. So the main objective is that the amplitude should be vary, but the fundamental frequency we can vary by changing the switching frequency of these switches. These switches are connected here, T1, T2, T3 and T4. By changing the switching frequency of these switches, we can control the fundamental frequency, or we can vary the fundamental frequency. But you can see here that the RMS value voltage depends only on supply voltage, that is Vs, and you can see that the supply voltage is DC supply, which is constant. This is constant. So it means by varying this fundamental frequency, by using the switching period, variable switching frequency, we can't control the amplitude or RMS value of output voltage. So to control the amplitude of output voltage, to control the RMS value of output voltage, we will use the PWM technique. Okay. So we will discuss what are the controlling methods of output voltage. So controlling of output voltage. You can see here controlling of output voltage. So in the very first lecture, in the introduction of inverter, we have discussed the controlling method of output voltage. So output voltage can be controlled in two methods, by using two methods, that is external control. This is external control, and second is the internal control. Internal control means this control is available in the circuit itself, and this external control, in external control some stages of the converter circuits are to be added in the inverter circuit. So in internal control we have to control the amplitude, and we have to control the frequency. We have to control the frequency. So the amplitude is controlled by PWM technique. If we have to control the amplitude as discussed before, the amplitude is fixed and it depends upon the DC supply voltage which is fixed. Therefore, to control the amplitude, we have to apply the PWM technique, that is pulse width modulation technique. To control the frequency, we can controlling the switching speed or switching frequency of switches, that is f of s. मीन्स स्विचिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी या स्विचिंग स्पीड को हम अगर कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं तो फ्रीक्वेंसी को हम कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं, बट इट इज नॉट द सॉल्यूशन टू कंट्रोल द फ्रीक्वेंसी, बिकॉज टू after controlling the frequency we cannot control the amplitude. So to control the amplitude we use PWM technique. Now the second mode is external control. In external control, some external circuits, some external converter are added in the inverter circuit. So see here, for example, we have a fixed AC supply. This is fixed AC. First we will convert this fixed AC into variable DC. So we will use here controlled rectifier. So this is controlled rectifier. After controlled rectifier we will get here, this is variable DC. This variable DC is fed to inverter. So this is the inverter circuit. This is inverter, and at the output we will get the variable AC. So this is one of the external circuit that can be used along with the inverter to get the output variable AC. The second method is that if we have the constant DC supply plus minus, this is fixed DC. This DC is first applied to a chopper circuit. This is DC to DC chopper. Here we will get the variable DC. This is variable DC. This variable DC is given to inverter. This is given to inverter. Here this is inverter. So output of inverter will be as variable AC. So these are the two circuits that are used for external control of output voltage. But there is some drawback of these external circuits, because you can see here, when we will add some other stages in the inverter circuit, then these are the types of converter, and you know, when the converters stages are increases, the harmonics content in the output will increase. And when harmonic content will increase, it means the switching losses will increase. When switching losses will increase, the system efficiency will decrease. And you can also see, when the converter circuit will be added into the circuit, the cost of the system will hike or cost of the system will increase. So there are some drawbacks of external circuit. So we can write here drawbacks of external control. Drawbacks of external control. These are the important points. Note down. First is the harmonic content increases by increasing the converter stages harmonic content in the output increases. Okay, means output में क्या होगा, आपकी harmonic content increase हो जाएगी. And you know, if the harmonic content increases, the total harmonic distortion will increases. So THD will increase. That is not desirable. Or you know that we have calculated the total harmonic distortion. It is equal to how much? It is 48.6%. So total harmonic distortion will increase from 48.6 to onward. So it is not desirable. Third, the cost of system increases. Cost of system will increase. Okay. Number third is when the stages of converter will increase, switching loss will increase. Switching losses will increase, and when switching losses will increase, it means system efficiency will reduce. So these are some drawbacks of external control. So generally we don't use the external control due to this disadvantages. So next is, if we have to control the amplitude, so amplitude we can control with external circuit, but we don't use external circuit due to this drawback. So we use the PWM technique. Okay. So now we will discuss the PWM technique. PWM technique. PWM technique. So here in the syllabus we will discuss three types of PWM technique. First we will discuss single pulse PWM technique. Second we will discuss multiple pulse, or we can write that is PWM. Third one we will discuss sinusoidal PWM. Okay. So यहाँ पर तीन टेक्निक हम डिस्कस करेंगे. These three techniques of pulse width modulation are used to control the amplitude of output voltage. First is single pulse PWM, second is multiple pulse, and third is sinusoidal pulse. Okay. Now we have to discuss what is the objectives of PWM, means why we are using PWM technique. So the important objective of PWM is to control output voltage without increasing the converter stages. Means इसमें किसी एक्सटर्नल कन्वर्टर की जरूरत नहीं होती है और आपका आउटपुट वोल्टेज वेरी कर जाता है, आउटपुट वोल्टेज आपका कंट्रोल हो जाता है. सेकेंड इज इट एलिमिनेट्स द लोअर ऑर्डर हार्मोनिक्स. देखिएगा आप लोग देख सकते हो कि दो तरह के हार्मोनिक्स हमारे पास होते हैं. एक लोअर ऑर्डर हार्मोनिक्स होते हैं और एक हायर ऑर्डर हार्मोनिक्स होते हैं. एंड यू नो, जैसे जैसे आपका हार्मोनिक्स का ऑर्डर इंक्रीज होता है वैसे वैसे उनका एम्पलीट्यूड क्या हो जाता है, डिक्रीज होता है. इसका मतलब जो हायर ऑर्डर हार्मोनिक्स हैं दे आर इजी टू फिल्टर आउट बिकॉज दे हैव नो डोमिनेंट इफेक्ट. बट जो लोअर ऑर्डर के हार्मोनिक्स होते हैं, जैसे आपका थर्ड हार्मोनिक्स, फिफ्थ हार्मोनिक, उनका एम्पलीट्यूड काफी हाई होता है, तो उनको ये क्या करता है, PWM एलिमिनेट कर देता है. और जब ये लोअर ऑर्डर के हार्मोनिक को एलिमिनेट कर देता है तो हायर ऑर्डर के हार्मोनिक्स को एलिमिनेट करना आसान होता है. मतलब फिल्टर सर्किट की रिक्वायरमेंट हमारी कम हो जाती है. तो लेस रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ फिल्टर सर्किट्स, because the filter circuits is only used for removal of higher order harmonics, and higher order harmonics have low amplitude, therefore requirement of filter circuit will reduce. Okay, so these are the three major objectives to use the PWM technique. ओके, और जब ये देखिएगा एलिमिनेट कर देता है लोअर ऑर्डर हार्मोनिक्स को, मतलब हार्मोनिक्स कंटेंट को ये क्या कर रहा है, रिमूव कर रहा है, एलिमिनेट कर रहा है, तो टोटल हार्मोनिक डिस्टॉर्शन हमारा क्या हो जाएगा, TLG विल रिड्यूस. सो These are the main four objectives to use the PWM technique. Okay. Next, now we will discuss the single pulse PWM technique. Single pulse PWM technique. So this is single pulse PWM technique. PWM technique. Okay. It means सिंगल पल्स का क्या मतलब होता है, इन हाफ साइकिल ऑफ आउटपुट वोल्टेज यू विल गेट ओनली वन पल्स. ओके, एंड इन द नेक्स्ट हाफ साइकिल you will get only one pulse. So in case of single pulse we will have two type of signal. One is it is triangular signal, like that. It is triangular signal. This is called as VC. This is omega t. This is called as carrier signal. This is called as carrier signal. And second signal we will have our output signal, that is like that. This is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi, this is plus Vs, this is minus Vs, this is omega t, and this signal is called as the reference signal. This is called as reference signal. Okay, now these two signals are given to a comparator. You know comparator, you have discussed or you have studied this comparator in digital electronics. So we have a comparator here. This is a comparator. So here we have two types of signal, that is carrier signal and this is the reference signal. This comparator will compare these signals and it will generate a signal for the triggering of thyristors. This is triggering of thyristors. Triggering of, या सिंपल कह सकते हैं इट इज ट्रिगरिंग सर्किट. इट इज ट्रिगरिंग सर्किट. ये ट्रिगर कराएगा अकॉर्डिंग टू आउटपुट ऑफ कंपैरेटर एंड दिस इज द triggering pulse, triggering output. Okay, so here will be some conditions. You can see here will be some condition. The comparator will compare the carrier signal and reference signal and two conditions will generate. If Vc is greater than Vr, if Vc is greater than Vr, if the amplitude of carrier signal is greater than reference signal, then it will generate the triggering pulse for thyristor T1 and T2. T1 and T2 will conduct, and when T1 and T2 will conduct, you will get output voltage is equal to Vs. You can see in the circuit diagram. The second condition is that when minus Vc, negative amplitude of carrier signal, is greater than negative amplitude of reference signal, in that case thyristor T3 and T4 will conduct, and when T3 and T4 will conduct, the output voltage V0 will be equal to what? That is minus Vs. So if the first condition is satisfied, then the triggering circuit will trigger the thyristor T1 and T2, and in that case the output voltage will be equal to what? It is equal to Vs. In case when second condition is fulfilled, the negative amplitude of carrier signal is greater than the negative amplitude of reference signal, the thyristor T3 and T4 will conduct. In that case the output voltage will be equal to minus Vs. So according to conditions generated by comparator, the triggering pulse will be generated and given to corresponding thyristors. Okay, now here we will see the one pulse, या single pulse PWM technique. So you can see here we have, this is the output voltage waveform. This is 0, this is pi, and this is 2 pi. This is equal to what? Vs, and this is equal to minus Vs. So we will have a triangular carrier pulse like that. This is carrier pulse. So this is carrier signal, that is carrier signal, that is VC, and this is our reference signal. This is reference signal, that is V of R. So here we have two signals, that is carrier signal and reference signal. So we will draw downward. This is omega t and this is omega t. So see here, from 0 to this value you can see here the VC is less than VR, therefore no signal will be generated, no thyristor will conduct. But from this point to this point you can see here, between these 2 points the carrier signal amplitude VC is greater than the reference signal amplitude. So when the carrier signal amplitude will be greater than the reference signal amplitude, so thyristor T1 and T2 will conduct, means T1 and T2 will conduct. Okay, now you can see here this is minus VC, so this minus VC is less than minus VR. At this point the minus VC is equal to minus VR, and after that point the minus VC is greater than minus VR. So from this point to this point we have the value of minus VC greater than minus VR. So in that condition the thyristor T3 and T4 will conduct. You can see here this is the output voltage V. Okay, so you can see here when thyristor T1 and T2 conduct, the output voltage is equal to how much? It is equal to plus Vs, like that. This is plus Vs. When T3 and T4 conduct, in that case the output voltage is how much? It is equal to minus Vs. This is equal to minus Vs. So you can see here we have, this is output voltage waveform after PWM technique, like that. So this point is nothing but it is pi, and this point is nothing but this is equal to 2 pi. So you can see here clearly that we are getting 2 pulses in each half cycle. 0 to pi it is half cycle, it is half cycle. So we are getting in half cycle only there is one pulse, in the next half cycle there is one pulse, that's why it is called as single pulse PWM technique. So in single pulse PWM technique, the width of pulse is denoted by 2D, means this is the total width of pulse generated, this is 2D. So we will define here the total pulse width, this is the pulse width is equal to total width of pulse, total in half cycle. See here, that is important. Pulse width, what is pulse width? So pulse width is the total width of pulse in half cycle. Suppose for example, if here we have only one pulse, so the pulse width is how equal to? It is equal to 2D. So here the pulse width is equal to 2D. But suppose in half cycle we have 2 pulses, like that. This is one pulse, this is second pulse, and this is pi. So now the total pulse width will be equal to, this is 2D and this is next 2D. So total pulse width be equal to, that is 2D plus 2D is equal to 4D. So total pulse width in half cycle is called as the pulse width. So it will discuss in multiple pulse width modulation. So here the pulse width is equal to how much? Total width of the pulse, or total width of the pulse in half cycle is equal to nothing but it is equal to 2D. Now here the one term is modulation index. So modulation index M of A is equal to, this is the amplitude of reference signal, that is VR divided by amplitude of carrier signal, that is VR upon VC, and MA, if it is less than 1, so it is called as under modulation. It is called as under modulation. If MA is greater than 1, it is called as over modulation. So we don't use over modulation. Generally we use the under modulation when MA is less than 1, means the amplitude of reference signal should be less than carrier signal. So now we have to calculate the RMS value of output voltage after PWM technique. So the after PWM technique we have got the output voltage waveform like that. This is 0 to pi, this is half cycle, and pi to 2 pi, this is next half cycle. So we have to calculate the RMS value. So you can see here that V naught RMS, that is V naught R is equal to, I have explained the method in what way we have determined the RMS value when the output is in the form of a rectangular or square wave. So you know that is under root of, that is area under the curve over complete cycle, or you can also calculate over half cycle. So here you can see that we will first square this gate pulse, so it will be Vs square, so it will be Vs square into for how much time it is conducting, for how much time it is conducting. So you know this is pulse width is 2d, so 2d and next 2d, so it is conducting for total period of 4d डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल साइकिल का जो टाइम पीरियड है कितना है, दैट इज 2 पाई. सो V नॉट R इज इक्वल टू Vs अंडर रूट दिस इज 2d अपॉन पाई. सो यू कैन सी हियर क्लियरली दैट V नॉट R is directly proportional to root of t, that is d is nothing but it is the half of the pulse width. It is half of the pulse width. So we can vary this root d. We can vary the pulse width. So the output RMS voltage will vary. So by varying the pulse width, the RMS value of output voltage varied. So this is varied. So you can clearly see here now the RMS value of output voltage not only depends upon the DC supply voltage but also depends upon the pulse width. So by changing the width of pulse we can control the RMS value of output voltage. Okay, now we will see the Fourier series analysis. So because what is meaning of Fourier series analysis? Fourier series analysis हम क्यों यूज करते हैं आपको पता है. Fourier series analysis हमें बताती है कि जो आउटपुट वोल्टेज वेव फॉर्म है या जो आउटपुट वोल्टेज आपको मिल रहा है उसमें फंडामेंटल कंपोनेंट आपको कितना मिल रहा है और हार्मोनिक्स कंटेंट कितनी मिल रही है. सो इन दिस सेशन वी विल आल्सो ड्राइव द Fourier series. So next is Fourier series analysis. ओके, सो Fourier सीरीज क्या देगी आपको? फंडामेंटल कंपोनेंट देगी प्लस हार्मोनिक्स देगी. तो यू कैन सी हियर दिस वेव फॉर्म इज सिमेट्रिकल अबाउट बाई एक्सिस. You can see it is symmetrical about y axis. For which duration we are getting the positive value? For during 2d period we are getting plus Vs. For same period we are getting minus Vs. It means the average value of output voltage is 0. So we can write V node average is equal to Vs minus Vs divided by 2 pi. It is equal to 0. Okay. Now because this waveform has the odd symmetry, इसलिए जो हमारे odd हार्मोनिक्स होंगे केवल वही प्रेजेंट होंगे, इवन हार्मोनिक्स हमारे absent होंगे. So due to odd symmetry, the even harmonics are absent. It means the coefficient an will be equal to 0. So we have to calculate the value of bn. Bn is nothing but this is the coefficient that provides the odd harmonics. So bn is equal to, that is 2 upon time period is how much? It is 2 pi. Integration 0 to 2 pi, that is v naught as a function of omega t, and this is sine n omega t, and this is d omega t. You know the formula. So bn is equal to, we have to calculate, that is bn. So bn will be equal to 1 upon pi, and integration of output voltage sine n omega t with respect to omega t. So before it, we have to see what are the lower limit and upper limit. So you can see here, this is the pulse. See here clearly, this is the pulse, this is pi. So this midpoint of the pulse will be pi by 2. This will be equal to, this is pi by 2, this point. Okay, now the total width of this pulse will be how much? This is 2d. So this half width will be equal to how much? It will be d. So we have to determine this lower limit. This lower limit we have to determine. So this lower limit will be equal to pi by 2 minus d. It will be pi by 2 minus d. Similarly, this upper limit of this pulse will be equal to how much? This will be pi by 2 plus d. So lower limit for this first pulse, positive pulse, is from pi by 2 minus d, and upper limit is pi by 2 plus d. Similarly, for negative pulse, this is the negative pulse, like that. The total total width is 2d, and this point will be how much? This is 2 pi. So it will be the center of pi and 2 pi. So center of pi and 2 pi will be, this is 3 upon 2 pi, and this is equal to how much? This is equal to d. This is half of this width. So this point will be equal to, this will be 3 upon 2 pi minus d, and this upper point will be equal to, this is 3 upon 2 pi plus d. Okay, so in that way we have determined the lower limit for this pulse and upper limit. Similarly, the lower limit for this pulse and upper limit. So we can break this integration from 0 to 2 pi between two intervals. The first is, this is equal to pi upon 2 minus d to pi upon 2 plus d, and during this period we are getting this value is how much? It is equal to Vs. So this will be Vs sine n omega t, and this is d omega t, plus next limit is from 3 upon 2 pi minus d to, that is 3 upon 2 pi plus d, and the value of voltage, this is equal to minus Vs. This is minus Vs and sine n omega t d omega t. Okay, so we will solve this integration. You will get, that is Bn is equal to 1 upon pi, and you can see here that Vs is constant, it is common, so it will be Vs upon pi. The first integration is sine n omega t d omega t, so it will be minus cos n omega t divided by n, and limit is pi by 2 minus d to pi by 2 plus d. Second, we will take this minus outside the bracket, it will remain, that is sine n omega t d omega t, so it will be minus cos n omega t divided by n, and lower limit is 3 upon 2 pi minus d to 3 upon 2 pi plus d. Okay, so here it will be Vs upon n pi, and it will be minus cos n omega t, upper limit is pi upon 2 plus d, lower limit is pi upon 2 minus d, minus, this is minus cos n omega t, 3 upon 2 pi minus d, upper limit is 3 upon 2 pi plus d. So after calculation you can apply simple mathematics and by putting the lower limit and upper limit, you will finally get the expression for Bn is equal to, it will be 4Vs upon n pi sin n pi upon 2. This is sin n pi upon 2 sin and d. So in this way we have calculated the value of coefficient for odd harmonics. Bn is equal to 4Bs upon n pi sin n pi upon 2 sin n d. Okay, so the value of Bn is depending upon the value of n. So here we have term n pi upon 2. So n pi upon 2 term will have 0 value for even number of n, and it will have some plus value for some odd numbers and some negative values for some odd numbers. So we can write it, that is plus minus 4Vs upon n pi. This is sin and d for n is equal to 1, 3, 5 up to infinite, that is for odd numbers, and it will be equal to 0 for n is equal to even numbers. Okay. You can calculate sin n pi. If you will put n is equal to 1, that it will be sin 90 will be plus 1. When you will put n is equal to 3, it will be 270, and the value of sin 270 is minus 1. So it will give both the values of plus 1 and minus 1. For some odd values it will give plus value, and for some odd numbers it will give negative value. So it is right as plus minus 4Bs upon n pi. This term, the value of this term will be 1 or minus 1 for odd numbers, and it will be equal to sin and d, and completely it will be 0 for even numbers. So we have calculated Bn. Now the value of phi n we can calculate. Phi n is equal to how much? This is tan inverse an upon bn. Here an 0, so phi n will be equal to 0. So Fourier series analysis of output voltage can be written as, that is plus minus 4Vs upon, this will be summation n is equal to 1, 3, 5 up to infinite. This is Cn sin n omega t minus phi. This is a standard expression for Fourier series. Here we have taken odd numbers because we are getting Bn for odd numbers, and Cn is what? Cn is equal to under root an square plus bn square. So Cn will be ultimately equal to Bn, that is equal to plus minus 4Vs upon n pi sin n d, for n is equal to 1, 3, 5 up to infinite. So and phi n is 0. So we can write that V naught as a function of omega t will be equal to summation n is equal to 1, 3 up to infinite. Cn is Bn, that is plus minus 4Vs upon n pi sin n d into sin n omega t. Okay, so this is the final expression for Fourier series. That is V naught omega t is equal to n is equal to 1, 3, 5 up to infinite, that is for odd numbers of n, plus minus 4Vs upon n pi sin n d upon sin n omega t. Now we are interested to determine the value of fundamental component. Okay, so fundamental output voltage, we will have by keeping n is equal to 1. So V naught 1 as a function of omega t will be equal to how much? It will be 4Vs upon pi. This is sin d, this is sin n d, and it will be sin omega t. This is the value of fundamental component. So maximum value V naught 1 max will be how much? It will be equal to 4Vs upon under root 2 pi. So this is pi and sine and d, means this is the coefficient of sine omega t. The coefficient of sine omega t whole value will be equal to maximum value, and V node 1 RMS is equal to 4 Vs upon root 2 pi. This is sine and d. So in this way we have derived the maximum value of fundamental component and RMS value of fundamental component. Okay, now we have to see in what way. In the objective of PWM technique, we have discussed that the PWM technique eliminates the harmonic. So we will discuss how it eliminates the harmonics, means low order harmonics ये कैसे eliminate करता है देखते हैं. So if we have to eliminate the third harmonic, so first we will determine the RMS value of third harmonic. So RMS value of third harmonic will be equal to 4 Vs upon, it will be 3 pi root 2, it will be 3 pi root 2 sine, this is equal to nd sine nd, and here for third harmonic it will be equal to how much? It will be equal to 3d. So this value we have to eliminate, means it should be 0. So we can write 4 Vs upon 3 pi root 2 sine 3d is equal to 0. It means sine 3d is equal to 0, or 3d is equal to, we can write it that sine 3d को हम क्या लिख सकते हैं? It is equal to sine n pi. Okay, so we can write 3d is equal to n pi, or d is equal to n pi upon 3. This is equal to so sine 3d is equal to 0, sine 3d is equal to sine, sorry, this is pi, means sine pi is 0. We can write 0 as sine pi because sine 180 degree is 0. So this is 3d is equal to pi. So d is equal to how much? This is pi upon 3, means this is pi by 3, means it will be 60 degree. So pulse width is how much? It is equal to, this is 2d. So d we have, it is equal to 60 degree. So total pulse width required will be equal to 2 into 60 degree is equal to 120 degree. It means if we apply a total pulse width of 120 degree, then we can eliminate the third harmonics. In the same way, you can eliminate the fifth harmonic and seventh harmonic. And to eliminate the different kinds of harmonics, you have to calculate the total pulse width required. So फिर से समझ लीजिए एक बार, if we have to eliminate the third harmonic, we will calculate the RMS value or maximum value of the third harmonic. So this is the RMS value of third harmonic, sin 3d is equal to 0. So we have to eliminate this, so this RMS value we will keep equal to 0. So this is 4 Vs upon 3 pi root 2 sin 3d is equal to 0. It means sin 3d will be equal to 0, and 0 को क्या लिख सकते हैं हम? sin pi लिख सकते हैं. So d is equal to will be how much? This is pi upon 3, that is 60 degree. So 60 degree is the value of d, but the total pulse width required is how much? It is equal to 2d. So it will be 120 degree. So in this way we can eliminate the lower order harmonic, that is third harmonic, fifth harmonic, seventh harmonic for different pulse width. So dear student, आज के लेक्चर में इतना ही. In this lecture we have covered different control techniques of the output voltage, that is external control, internal control. In internal control we uses the pulse width modulation for controlling the amplitude. So this is the first type of pulse width modulation, that is single pulse width modulation technique. In the next lecture, we will discuss the multiple pulse width modulation technique, that is multiple PWM technique. After that, we will discuss the sinusoidal pulse width modulation technique, and then the multiple pulse width modulation technique will with अनइक्वल स्पेसिंग, मीन्स जो पल्स की बिड होगी वो क्या होगी, आपकी अनइक्वल होगी. सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट टू सब्सक्राइब द चैनल फॉर अपकमिंग इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियोस. Share and like the videos. Thank you.